Hello folks, this is Sula once again. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is another game from PBE of set 8. And this is actually a double up game. I am joined here by JDP El Grillo. And yes, by the way, you do have a rating for PBE Double Up. It does track that, probably just because double up mode innately gives you a rating and they don't want to turn that off for the public beta environments. But I think that we were officially silver on the PBE. Kind of interestingly, apparently your rating carries over between splits as well, because it did not appear to get reset. I think we'd played a couple games before set 7.5, and that rating carried over here into the PBE for set 8. Anyway, though, enough about that. So we'll talk about some of the things that have been changed in double up mode. There are a few changes to double up mode here for season 8. And the other thing we're going to be looking at is a team composition that is a little bit different from things I've played before, and that is it's going to be a mascot-based team composition. This is one of the sillier traits here in set 8, but it's a trait that's kind of weak early in the game, but if you can actually hit all the pieces, it ends up becoming kind of strong in the late game. Big issue is, in order to kind of fill out a mascot board, you need to hit Nunu, who's a legendary unit, or alternately find a mascot emblem. It is craftable. It is one of the spatula recipes here in set 8. It is the belt plus spatula turns a unit into a mascot. So we're going to look a little bit about that as we go through this game. Anyway, so here we are at the start of the game. So at this point, I was looking around here. I was like, I actually have 4 mascots here. I was like, I have 4 mascots, and then I also have these jinxes. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I just play mascot plus Anima Squad here at the beginning of the game, and then we'll try to figure out where we go from there. So I do need to sell some of the pieces here on my board. I'm going to pick up the Yumi and the Malphite. And yeah, I now actually have 4 different mascot units that I will be able to play. That said, my board is not going to be very strong here in the early game. I've also got some AP items, which is kind of not what I wanted, because playing behind a mascot board, you kind of want to play AD, not AP. Want to deal physical damage, not magic damage, but I'm just going to have to make the best I can with that. All right, well, I have these options. I don't really like any of these options, but I also don't want to re-roll a silver augment, so I am going to go ahead and I'm going to take preparation, and that way units that sit on the bench can get preparation stacks. So I am just accepting that I'm going to lush streak here for the first couple rounds, because my board is basically garbage right now. Just so that I have something to play, I believe that I end up putting some of these items on Jinx. So Jinx is not a mascot. Jinx is Anima Squad plus Prankster for her traits, and she's basically a support unit. Jinx is not intended to be a carry unit for your team. But I believe that I end up putting the Needlessly Large Rod and then the Tier to make an Archangel Staff. And basically, I'm going to have Jinx hold items for another AP caster later on. And if I stick with Anima Squad, that can be a misfortune. So anyway, Jinx's ability, she fires out a rocket that stuns. It does deal damage, but again, she's basically a support unit. She is not really intended to be a carry unit, and you can see what happens. I'm gonna get plowed over pretty easily here in the early game, because my board is almost non-existent right now. Grillo has not played a lot of this set. We played a double up game a few days before this one, and we did pretty well. We came in second place to a team of people who had platinum rating for PBE Double Up. We're like, wait, I guess you guys have played a lot of PBE Double Up. How many games do you have to get platinum borders in public beta environment Double Up? But we got second place to that team. And then we played a game right before this one, narrowly got a third place. And then this game was the best of the ones that we had played thus far. So Grillo has not played a lot of games in this set, was trying to figure things out. He was playing through a Vel'Koz. And unfortunately, Vel'Koz, who is a threat unit in this set, Vel'Koz is not really a damage dealer. Vel'Koz is a stun bot, but if you're relying on Vel'Koz to carry the damage load, it is not going to go well for your team. And Grillo was finding that out here on his board. Anyway, again, I am not expecting to win these rounds. My goal is just to kill as many units as I can before my team inevitably loses to people who've already leveled to 4. But Jinx should be able to kill 1. There we go. And that's, not great, but that's probably the best I could do in this situation. So trying to minimize the damage we take. Grillo is also losing here at the start of the game. Okay, in any case, though, I am finally going to get to level 4 here. I'm actually holding quite a few units on my bench, which is why I'm poorer than you would expect, but I have preparation, so holding units on my bench is actually a good thing. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit the 2-star Galio there. So that's pretty nice. Galio wearing that ridiculous chicken suit. And then I was like, do I want to try to pick up this Galio? Do I go for 3-star Galio long term? I might actually, because I think that I'm going... Oh, I think what I decided was if I win this round, I won't buy the Galio. But if I lose this round, I will buy the Galio. And I'm still kind of expecting to lose this round. Anyway, let's cover what the Mascot trait actually does, these kind of ridiculous costume-wearing champions that you have on your team. Well, Mascot is a frontline trait. It's one of the odder ones, though. It's basically a different version of the Renewer trait from Set 5. The official description is, your team heals a percentage of their maximum health every 2 seconds. Mascots heal double the amount. So basically, as it says, your team's going to heal every 2 seconds. Mascots get double the benefit. So it provides life regen, and yeah, I end up losing that round. Only killed 1 unit again, which is not exactly great. And oh, look how close this round is, but Grillo's going to lose. But that's probably a good loss because he was already on a loss streak. So taking 1 point of damage and then loss streaking, probably a better outcome for us. So Mascots heal, like I said, they heal percentage of max HP every 2 seconds, and the Mascot, that is a team-wide benefit, and then the Mascots themselves get double that amount. I've been hovering the trait a number of times, so you probably can see Mascots 2 is 1.5% of max HP. Mascots 4 is 2.5% of max HP. Now, when you're running Mascots, one of the things that you really, really would like to get is additional health. More health is really good because it scales off max HP. So anything that scales off max HP, you want to increase the amount of health you have. So an early Warmogs is quite good. If you get an early Warmogs on like a Galio, that unit's going to be quite tanky in the early game. Unfortunately, there was no belt on Carousel. I really would have liked to have gotten a belt off the Carousel, but it wasn't there. So what I'm going to do is take this Alistar, who has a chain vest, and then hopefully I can build that into a Gargoyle Stoneplate or a Warmogs, or not a Warmogs, or a Sunfire, or maybe a Bramble, something like that later on. But Alistar is also a Mascot, so I've been able to put him on the board. And now I have 4 Mascots on the board, so now they're going to get 2.5% healing. This actually is a big jump. It actually scales pretty significantly when you go from the 1.5 to the 2.5. Again, remember, Mascots get double that. So my Mascot units are now healing for 5% of their health, 5% of their maximum health every 2 seconds. So it looks like Galio is getting like 62 health back every 2 seconds, something like that. So yeah, I mean, it kind of scales in an exponential fashion as you get more Mascots. So like Mascots 2 doesn't really do much of anything, but then when you start getting up to Mascots 4, and then if you can make it to Mascots 6, the benefit actually starts to get to the point where it's like, oh, if the other team doesn't have a heal cut, if they don't have a Sunfire or a Morelos, it's actually kind of difficult for them to get through your front line. Like Galio ends the fight on max HP because the other team just does not have enough damage to get through his healing. So yeah, pretty significant there. Now the other part of the trait, I do have to mention there is a secondary part of the trait. It's when Mascot units die. When Mascots die, they retreat to the sidelines to cheer on your team. Your team's healing is increased by 1% for each cheering Mascot. So in these fights, you will see when the Mascot units die, a tiny little version of them runs over to the left-hand side, right next to the augment, where you see the Hextech augment. And there'll be like a little version of the unit standing over there dancing. It's again, everything about this trait is pretty hilarious. But again, it's pretty significant. It's 1% additional healing. So let's say 3 of the 4 Mascots die in the fight. Well, that's 3% extra healing. So we would go from 2.5% to 5.5%. And then again, doubled for Mascot units. So as they die, the Mascot units that are still alive get more healing. And it can be pretty significant. Look, there goes Alistar. All right, he's cheering us on. He's doing his best to help out the rest of the team. So like Galio, again, healing 87 health back every 2 seconds. That adds up over time. So, and now Nasus is going to heal for even more because now he's got Alistar over there, and he also has Galio over there as well. Actually, it looks like Grillo's playing Mascot as well. So there's actually 2 Alistars over there. I think one was from Grillo's board. Yeah, so anyway, it's an interesting trait, kind of the way that it works. It's not one of the more popular frontline options. I would say that so there's kind of 4 frontline options. I think I said that there were 3 in past videos, but there's actually 4. You have the Mascot that we're playing here. You have Defender, which provides armor to the team. You have Aegis, which provides magic resistance to the team. And then you have Brawler, which provides additional max health. So pretty interesting, all the different kind of major tank stats that you could think. Health, armor, magic resistance, health regen, there is a trait associated with each and a frontline option that can be played with each of them. So that's pretty cool the way that this is set up. Definitely some flexibility in terms of how you can build your frontline in this set. And of course, there's different options depending on. Some team comps are going to want to play into certain front lines. Plus, in addition to that, you can play Zach, who is another frontline option who has no traits at all. So you can also just play Zach for frontline or additional frontline if that's what you need. So really cool way that the set is designed there. All right, we're going to get a little bit more luck there in the sense that I'm going to hit the Jinx 2-star. So that's going to increase her damage. And I want to make the Gargoyle Stoneplate, but I also want to put the Gargoyle Stoneplate on my 2-star frontliner, which is the Galio. So I'm going to sell the Alistar to transfer that over. I was waiting to find another Alistar in the store. Pretty confident that I can hit Alistar 2-star before the game's over. And I'm going to try to make sure that the units that are on the board are getting the full preparation stacks. Now, as far as what I'm getting, again, I have ended up getting a bow that is not exactly the item that I want, but I believe that I just go ahead and make a Giant Slayer with the sword plus bow because that is a flexible item that can be used on a number of different items. I basically decided at this point that I'm going to use the Jinx to hold items for a future Misfortune, and that's because Misfortune is a better carry unit. I already did a video featuring her. By the way, this fight is definitely going to be a loss. I just need Grillo to come in. Oh, Jinx did get off a nice shot there. Actually hit 2 members of the enemy team, but I think I still lose that fight without Grillo coming over. We've actually managed to pull off a really nice econ setup here. We lost streak the first couple rounds, and now we're on win streak, which is just great for economy. All right, here we've got a gold augment. I was like, oh, electrocharge. When your units receive critical strikes, they take additional damage. So, when people hit you, they take damage. That's actually really good with this setup because I'm basically running a heavy tank setup here. So I'm going to go ahead and look to play that. And now I'm also going to grab this Silas and the Sword and put him on the bench just so that I can run Anima Squad. I'm kind of disappointed that I have to play the Silas here. What I wanted to do is I wanted to get Vayne and then run Vayne as like my main carry, but I have not seen Vayne and I've been getting mostly AP items. So Vayne does not look like the option that I'm going to have here. As far as what Grillo's doing, he has gotten a Brawler crest here so he can turn a unit into a Brawler. And he is going to run a very simple team comp, since he has not played many games in the set, but a very effective team comp. And that is, he was like, well, I'll just run 6 Brawlers and look to play Jax with mechs. And that actually is quite effective because in this particular PBE build, this was a build right at the end of the first week of PBE. There was going to be a huge patch that was going to release the next day. Still don't know what's going to be in that as I'm recording this video. But and the whole first week, mechs were really strong. And it definitely felt like Jax was overtuned. So we're going to see if he can play mechs just with 6 Brawlers, which is pretty good. As far as what I'm getting in, I now have Anima Squad in. Again, I really wanted my carry in this Anima Squad team to be Vayne, but I have not found Vayne, so it's going to have to be Jinx, who is a support unit, but you use what units you have, as always. I am hitting some other units, and then I also find a Riven. I was like, well, I'm going to play Riven over playing Silas, definitely a better unit. And I'm not looking to go 5 Anima Squad. So this is going to be just the Anima Squad splash with 3 Anima Squad, not diving deeply into the trait with 5 or 7 Anima Squad, as I did in a separate video I posted. As a quick refresher, Anima Squad, what this trait does is it gives attack damage and ability power. So it's an offensive-oriented trait. Anima Squad 3 currently gives 15 AD and 15 ability power. And the other thing that happens is Anima Squad members build fame for scoring Champion's Kill. Each time they score a kill, they permanently gain 5 maximum health per point of fame. So as Jinx kills things, she gets points of fame. We currently have 3, so the Anima Squad units get 15 health. Woo, 15 health. It does add up over time. Still, it would be nice if I could make an Anima Squad emblem and put it on one of my mascots. Now, one of them is an Anima Squad unit. That's Nasus. He's Mascot plus Anima Squad. But Nasus is a 1-cost unit, so he's basically just in there as a trait bot overall. And unfortunately, I'm not really hitting Nasus's. The unit that I've been hitting has been Galio amongst the 1-cost, because I already have 4 Galios, and I might as well keep holding them. That's the reason why he's got my tank items over there. All right, anyway, so we are now on full win streak. We've actually we both lost the first 3 rounds, and then we've won the last 5 rounds after that. Now I'm looking to get another item for Jinx here, and I see there's another tier. I was like, oh, I could just get this and make blue buff. Okay, that works. I will go ahead and make the blue. Again, you might say, well, why not make why not make like a Spear of Shojin? Wouldn't that be better for like Misfortune? Misfortune has high mana cost. Wouldn't Shojin be better? Well, at least as of this point in time, the developers heavily over nerfed Spear of Shojin. They really over nerfed it to the point where you basically it's never worthwhile to make the item. Blue buff is like always better in all situations. I think that the attacker needs to make like 15 auto attacks before they get back the mana that you get just from starting the fight with 50 on blue buff. So aside from fights that last well into overtime, you just never ever will come out ahead by doing Spear of Shojin. Even for someone like Misfortune, who I believe has like 120 mana cost, it's still better to do the blue buff than the Spear of Shojin. So anyway, I have gone Giant Slayer, blue buff, Archangel Staff. Not best in slot by any means for like a Misfortune, but this should be pretty playable. And these are actually pretty decent on the Jinx because her mana cost is only 65. So blue buff is actually kind of deep. Well, her mana cost is 75. The blue buff actually lowers it by 10 now. That's what the revamped blue buff does. You start with 50 mana, and it subtracts 10 mana from the cost of your skills. And then if you get a kill or on kills and assists, you get 10 mana refunded as well. So they've revamped this item a little bit. Anyway, look at Galio tanking. Look how much he's healing for now that all those other mascots are over on the sidelines. He's healing for quite a bit. Yeah, the other team does not have a heal cut. They just could not get through Galio's healing with that Gargoyle Stoneplate. All right, anyway, so another word about the Double Up mode itself. So they have revamped the gifts from Double Up mode. And I don't really like the gifts. They basically scaled them up enormously in value. So Grillo was able to send me a champion duplicator. Like instead of taking a component or gold early on, I was able to take a champion duplicator. And then Grillo was able to take, what did he take? I think he took a Thief's Glove. So you get these different options. They're random. Champion duplicator is one of them. And our opinion is you should basically always take the champion duplicator because it makes it infinitely easier to make 3-star units. It's actually very possible for both players to get a champion duplicator, and that makes it very easy to hit 3 stars. So, let's say we're trying to 3-star, I don't know, we're trying to 3-star, the Jax. Let's say the Jax, for example. Between us, we could potentially get double champion duplicators, so that's 2 copies of the unit already, and then we just have to find 7 copies between the 2 of us. Like, that's just not very hard to do. 2 players just finding 7 copies of the unit. So like each person only really has to find a 2-star version of the unit. 3 copies and 4 copies. That's it. And then you got a 3-star Jax. Like, that's why I don't really like these changes. I think they dialed up the rewards too much. It makes this into more of like a arcadey type mode, more of like hyper roll where like rewards just kind of fall from the sky. I don't really like it. I feel like it takes away, it detracts from the gameplay when you're like, just like, here's a champion duplicator, here's a Thief's Glove, here's 15 gold. It's like, I don't know. So I don't love this change, but it does mean that boards cap out and get even stronger than they used to in this particular game mode. So you'd better be looking to make 3 stars if you're going to play Double Up mode, because it is easier than ever now to make the 3-star units. All right, well, we were able to win streak all the way through stage 3, so that was great. I guess Grillo lost the last round, but still, really, really good economically for us. Right now, I'm going to try to hold Jax's for his board, and he is looking to grab some additional, I think, mascot units for me. I'm also still looking to find a better carry than this Jinx. Jinx is going to fall off pretty hard. Oh, I got another champion duplicator as well. So now I have double champion duplicators here. So we're going to have to think about how we want to use these items. I'm also getting closer to, I'm also up to 5 Yumis as well. So I'm going to hold that unit. And I think Grillo was holding some Yumis earlier, but now he's dropped them for the time being. I have gone ahead and also tossed a Sona onto my board. Sona would give me the heart trait. But then I think about it, I was like, actually Vi is better. Vi is going to give me Brawler trait, so that's going to give additional health on the Riven. And more importantly, it's going to give me the Aegis trait, or Aegis trait, however you pronounce that, which is going to give team-wide magic resistance. And I think that that's better. All right, well, look what I'm up against. I'm up against somebody playing Jax. Yeah, Mech's very popular in this set. Well, this person hit 2-star Jax, and I've been winning all these rounds recently. Well, guess what? 2-star Jax, yeah. He is just effortlessly walking through my team. Like, this isn't even close. He just deletes my entire team and does 7,000 damage. And it's not even remotely close. Now, granted, this is a matchup that's kind of bad for Mascots. Mascots would be strong against like ticking damage over time, whereas Jax kind of applies it in a big burst. But yeah, it does not feel like this is entirely balanced. The mech's still overtuned, even after all the nerfs on PBE, still overtuned in this patch. All right, last augment's going to be Hero Augment. I can't really take any of those, but oh, look at this. Make It Rain. I find a Misfortune augment for the last one. Ooh, and that's really nice. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this immediate transfer. I'm going to sell the Jinx and look to just play Misfortune. And I'll do that any second now. I mean, I suppose I could keep Misfortune on the bench and try to get preparation stacks on her, but Jinx is falling off as a carry. I think I do better just to play the Misfortune. Now my augments, though, Make It Rain. After every 3 player combats, gain 18 gold. When I did my initial video on PBE with Anima Squad, my immediate thought was, I was like, wow, I got the other MF augment, the one that increases the size of her ult cone. And I was like, wow, I kind of wish I'd gotten the economic one. 18 gold every 3 player combats. That sounds absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, it is kind of ridiculous. That's going to feed me an awful lot of money. So it does nothing right away. It does not do anything to increase the actual value of my board. But yeah, that's a lot of money coming my way. So we will have to see how that plays out. If we can like not die, and we shouldn't die because we have plenty of health here. We have 82 health. That should be pretty good long term. My immediate thought as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I can make Misfortune 3-star again. I did that in my previous game. Maybe I can do that again. I already have the double champion duplicators. I'm going to get a ton of money from this augment. Maybe. I mean, we'll just see what we hit. Instead, what I'm hitting right now is Yumi's. I'm up to 7 Yumi's, so okay. I don't want to use my champion duplicators on Yumi, but why not? I mean, Yumi's a mascot, so might as well if I can. I guess we have a second here. I will cover Yumi's ability. So she has 3 useful traits. I suspect she'll be in a lot of team comps. 2-cost unit. She has Heart, Mascot, and Star Guardian. In this game, we're featuring the Mascot. In a lot of other games, it's probably going to be Heart and Star Guardian that she emphasizes. Her ability is Prowling Projectile, costs 60 mana. Yumi fires a curved missile at the furthest target in her attack range, dealing magic damage to the first unit hit. And damage right now is around 350 at 2-star, and it goes up to like 550 at 3-star, if you can get her there. So again, she's more of a support unit. She does not have a supportive ability. She does have just a damaging ability, but she's mostly going to be played as a trait bot in most comps. I don't think people are going to be building Yumi-focused team compositions. I could be wrong. I've actually heard if you get her carry augment that she can be a decent carry unit. You know, every single unit in the game has a support augment and a carry augment. So I've heard if you can get her carry augment, she actually can be a carry unit. But mostly she's going to be in the teams as a trait bot. I'm not going out of my way to 3-star her, but you know, if I can, if I'm just hitting Yumi's, I might as well, right? Because I'm going to be playing this unit. All right, so we've got another carousel here, and I am going to be 3rd pick. Now there is a spatula here. Remember, I can make a mascot emblem potentially, but it gets taken, so I won't be able to do that. At least I am able to get a belt. Remember, mascots always want belts because they provide additional max HP, and that scales off of the way that mascot trait works off of percentage max HP. So belts are always good with this team composition. If you can get the mascot emblem, if you can craft it. Oh, by the way, there's another Yumi. That's 7 Yumis now. If you can craft the mascot emblem, it's really convenient because that allows you to play 6 mascots without finding Nunu. Nunu, 5-cost legendary unit. Need him for 6 mascot because there's only 6 mascots in the game. But if you can craft a mascot emblem, then you can turn another unit into a mascot, and then you don't have to find Nunu. And that's really the big thing about this trait. Mascot 4, not very good. Honestly, it gets beaten it's not particularly impressive because the health regen, you know, it's good on like stage 2, maybe stage 3, but like now that we're on stage 4, the amount of damage in the game is just overwhelming the healing. Like mascot 4 is not enough. So you're seeing these fights are not going as well. And that's because my front line is just not strong enough. I'm also kind of lacking in damage. Honestly, Misfortune is not a great unit. She's actually seen as being one of the worst 4-costs in this patch. So I am not really in a particularly strong situation at the moment. My front line is not strong enough to keep up with this person who has like, they're level 8, they've already rolled all the way down. And like they have a Belvath as their carry, and they have better front line and set. So like I really need to get up to 6 mascot if I'm going to salvage this board. And oh, there we go. There's the 18 gold coming out from, there's the Make It Rain augment. So that's pretty cool. Now I can just go level 8 and I can just play another unit. I was like, I guess I'll just toss another Yumi on the board for right now, and I'll pick up this Vi. I am running out of bench space, so I'm going to roll a little bit, and then I hit the 2-star Vi, and I believe that I stopped there. Oh, I put in the Sona for Heart trait. Heart, I've covered in some other videos. Heart traits is a stacking ability trait. Every time heart units cast, they give some additional ability power to the entire team, not just for themselves, for the whole team. So it's good for stall-based team compositions, which is kind of what I have here. Now, I'm up against a person who is playing into Anima Squad. They actually have 7 Anima Squad over there, which is the max that you can get. So they have an awful lot of ability power and attack speed and ability power over there. Still, I'm not really close to like putting my board together. I still can get a lot stronger, and I'm actually holding in there relatively well in this fight. If Mammoth can get off one more, oh, she fired it in the wrong direction. Yeah, I needed her to target the right side of the board, not the left side of the board, but at least we did kill a few more units there. Still, you can see my board has fallen off here. I need to roll down. I was waiting until I could hit level 8, and now I'm going to have 50 gold, so hopefully I can roll down and start to put my board together. Also, hopefully I can find some more Jaxes for Grillo. Although I am quite low on bench space here, I really need to hit some of these units. All right, there we go. We managed to hit Malphite 2-star. Malphite, I am not playing until I can hit, get 6 Mascot in. So that's the hope. I really need to find Nunu. That's the unit I need. If I can find Nunu, I can get up to 6 Mascot, and that's going to be a big jump in terms of the health regen. Plus, then I can start itemizing Nunu as a secondary carry. Like, I've got the Misfortune, but Misfortune is not really... She can't really kill teams on her own, because, like, she doesn't focus her damage. She kind of hits the whole enemy team at once. You really want, like, a more focused form of damage to pair with her. And I think I had that in my other game where I did Anima Squad, where I was playing Vayne, and Vayne would fill that function. Again, I would actually like to be playing Vayne, but I don't know if I've seen a single Vayne the entire game here. All right, anyway, well, there's a Syndra here, so I'll just play the Syndra over the Sona. That's definitely better. Syndra, a legendary unit. Though I've also found a Mordecai. Actually, never mind. I think I put Mord on the board instead. All right, well, 2-star Riven. That's good. And oh, there's Nunu. Okay, well, that was pretty painless. So now I need to get my board together. So we're going to put this in, and then I also need to put the Malphite in, and that's going to get me up to 6 Mascot. There we go. Also going to give me that. Anvil that drops. So now I need to figure out. I was like, oh, what do I actually take here? Well, I don't want the bow. Do I want the tear? I guess that could be a chalice. I was like, I think I'm just going to take the belt, and then I'll have to figure out something to do with it. But I'm still not exactly quite sure. I'm still transitioning my board here. I still have 50 more gold to roll. So once again, I'm up against a Jax player, and Jax just carves right through my team. But the big news is I finally have Mascot 6 in, and I have Nunu, which is what I needed to hit if I was going to do that. So Mascot 6, huge jump in value. Mascot 4, 2.5% healing. Mascot 6, 6.5% healing. Again, it's PBE. These numbers could very easily change. So it almost doubles the benefit. It's a huge increase. And remember, that does get doubled for Mascot units. So Mascot units are going to get... Oh, wow, and look at this. Wow, Yuumi 3-star. The game's like, would you like Yuumi 3-star? Here you go. So I did not need to use champion duplicators. And that's a big deal because it allowed me to... clear out some bench space as well. I also get a gift from Grillo, and I had the option of a couple different things. I chose to take 3 item components, and that was actually perfect because it allowed me to itemize Nunu. I didn't have any space to itemize Nunu, but now I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I've actually got some interesting choices here. There's another MF. So, there's MF. And I'm going to hit MF 2-star. I also get to 6 Gallios, so I could use the champion duplicators on Gallio. Don't think I want to do that, though. Now I've hit the 2-star Alistar, so I've actually been able to 2-star almost my whole board. Oh, and then Grillo had also found a Nunu, so we were talking it over, and I made the decision I'm going to take a champion duplicator, and I'm going to use it on the Nunu. I think it's worthwhile to use one of my 2 champion duplicators on Nunu to hit Nunu 2-star. And then I should be strong enough to push to level 9, and then I can roll for more legendary units at level 9 once I get there. So, all right, whoa, hey, remember how my board was kind of getting destroyed the last couple rounds? All of a sudden, now I've gotten super strong. And that makes sense because I hit the 6 Mascots, and then I was able to 2-star pretty much my whole board. Also, we got to talk about Nunu, because now Nunu's on my board. And Nunu is just an absolutely hilarious unit. Oh, by the way, this is against the Anima Squad player, and turns out that Yuumi is going to be on that. So now Grillo's going to get his choice. He can take 3 components. That's the option I took. There's my augment, giving me 18 gold again. Or he can take 2 tier 4 champions or a remover and 5 gold. And I believe he takes the components as well, if I remember this game. I don't think he would want the remover. Seems like a pretty bad option compared to the other 2. Can't see why you would want that over the other options. But like, look at the RNG this introduces. 2 tier 4 champions. Like if you hit one of the champs you're playing, Like, let's say I took that option and I hit an MF, then all of a sudden I'd be at 6 MFs immediately, and I would have the champion duplicators. Just introduces a lot of additional RNG into this game. I don't really like these increased gifts that you give in double up mode. I kind of preferred the old system better. So, in any case, we are still working towards, now we're just working towards level 9 because my whole board is basically 2-starred. I'm missing the Nasus. Nasus is 1-star, but everything else is 2-starred, so we might as well go level 9. Also, Nunu, I'll get back to Nunu in a second. I don't have a great moment to cover his ability here, but Nunu pushes this big ball around the Katamari Damacy, and just is basically unkillable. We're going to knock this team down to 1 HP. But yeah, my board spiked super duper hard. That was a great roll down at level 8. I hit everything I needed to, was able to make good use of that champion duplicator. Grillo really helped me out there. Unfortunately, the only thing I didn't hit was units for Grillo. I'm still on that. I've only found 1 Jax the entire game, which is pretty disappointing. He also was apparently stacking Lee Sins. I wish I had known. There was a Lee Sin in the store. I could have grabbed it here. If I had known he was looking for Lees, I could have grabbed that. But I just wasn't paying enough attention. Well, there's not too much that I want here. The Zerat portal would be a good option here as well. But I decided I would go for the static Shiv because I can put that on Yuumi. Yuumi will make pretty good use of that, and it will just serve as a magic resistance debuff. My whole team is basically magic damage. I have no physical damage whatsoever in this team because Nunu deals magic damage and Misfortune deals magic damage. So I'd better get stuff on the board that's going to reduce the magic resistance of the enemy team. Okay, so let's go ahead and cover Nunu's ability just because we have a minute right now. So he is a legendary unit. Mascot trait is mostly low-cost units. They're 2 1 costs, 2 2 costs, 1 3 cost, and then Nunu is the 5 cost. So it's kind of a reroll trait, honestly, or you can play into Nunu as well. Anyway, his ability is called Biggest Robo Ball Ever. Costs 90 mana. Nunu does not attack. The passive ability is Nunu and Willup slowly roll a ball around the board, dealing magic damage to all enemies it passes through, gaining 30 mana per second. Nunu and Willup grow the ball, increasing their speed, radius of the ball, increasing their speed, radius of the ball, and its damage dealt by 40%. So if you don't have any other mana generation on him, he will increase the size of the ball every 3 seconds, basically, and it keeps scaling up in damage as the fight goes on. So this is a pretty silly unit, and particularly in these fights that last a long time, like this one, where 2 teams came over to the board. Nunu did 10,000 damage and grew the ball to ridiculous size. The damage of the ball starts out at, again, this is PBE, so the numbers can change. Starts at 135 at 1-star, goes to 205 at 2-star, goes to 2,000 at 3-star. And again, remember, that goes up by 40% basically every 3 seconds. As far as itemizing Nunu, basically you just want him to be tanky. It's tanky plus AP. So Ionic Spark is really good because he's going to be running around in the middle of the enemy team, applying the Ionic Spark debuff and additional damage. He is also, I also put a Gunblade on him. That's not bad. It's going to cause him to heal for some of the damage he deals. And Warmogs is always good on any Mascot unit. So right now, Nunu has about 3,500 health, thanks to having that Warmogs. Remember, with the Mascot trait, he heals for 4.5% of his max health, times 2, because Mascots get the benefit doubled. So he's healing for 9% of his max health every 2 seconds. That's a lot of healing. It's an awful lot of healing. So if he doesn't get focused in a fight, and unfortunately this is one fight where he did get focused, the MF on the other team that looks like just focused him. If he doesn't get focused in a fight, he can actually stay alive for a very, very, very long time. It looks like this person also took the Misfortune Make It Rain ability. Nunu also tends to mess up the pathfinding of the enemy teams. So like as he rolls the ball around in circles, he often kind of mucks up the pathfinding of enemy. Oh, by the way, there's the 18 gold again. Have I mentioned that I think that this augment is a little overpowered? I think they should tone it down to like 12 gold. This feels a little too high. It's making it insanely easy to get up to level 9. I also saw that there were 2 Jannas in the store. I was thinking about playing Janna for my extra unit at level 9, but Janna has 3 different abilities. Or her innate ability changes depending on the weather, so it changes from game to game. This one just provided additional mana at the start of the fight, and that's not really useful for my team. So I was like, the Janna ability this game is not really that good for my team, so I'll look to play a different unit. The unit I really want to play is Mordekaiser because he has a board-wide magic resistance shred when he drops the big building. And that's what I need because my whole team is magic damage. So I need stuff that reduces MR. I've got the Static Shiv. I've got the Ionic Spark. Let's apply Mordekaiser. Let's take everyone's MR down to 0. And then Nunu can push that ball around and deal, I don't know, all kinds of damage. All right, well, anyway, I'll be able to go level 9 here. Let's see what we can get out of the anvil. And, all right, not that much that I really want. I already have a Sunfire, otherwise I would take Sunfire, so I don't really need Morellos because I already have Sunfire. We'll just go ahead and take the Zeeks here. And now I'm going to go ahead and roll. I'm going to look to play into additional, some kind of additional legendary unit. So let's see what we can find here. I'm trying to 2-star something. Again, I really want Mordekaiser as the unit I most want. I guess I could also play Zac. Zac 2-star would not be terrible. And I'm still rolling. I don't really find quite what I'm looking for, so I'll just pick up the Syndra for right now. But again, that's not quite what I'm looking for. I really want Mordekaiser on this board. And I'm actually going to keep rolling here, which is kind of rare. Normally you don't roll once the rounds start, but I will keep trying to pick this stuff up. There's actually a Nasus here as well, so that'll actually make Nasus 2-star. I still am on Nasus 1-star in this fight. We're up against someone playing Mech Jax, but they have not managed to hit the 3-star version yet, so we will outscale this. Yeah, they need a 3-star version if they're going to be strong in the late game. Oh, did I pick up this Nasus? There we go. Managed to pick that up. Now I'm going to go over to Grillo's board, and he is on 8 Lee Sins, and I believe he's on 6 Jaxes. So we're trying to get him the 3-star Jax. That's like our next big goal. Is his board's going to spike very heavily if we can hit the 3-star Jax. So remember, I still have that champion duplicator, and I was like, you know what? What if I just Nico or champion duplicator the Jax? Then I could get him the 3-star Jax. Anyway, I do find the Mordekaiser, so I'm going to look to play that. So I'll put that on the board. There's another Mordekaiser. Still rolling. Can I hit the Mord 2-star? There's another Jax. Okay, so at this point I was like, we have 2 out of 3 Jaxes. What if we just use the champion duplicator on Jax? That'll make Jax 3-star, and then make Jax 2-star for me, and then I can send it, and it'll be Jax 3-star for Grillo. But for the moment, I'm just going to shuffle over here. Now I've got the Mordekaiser, and yeah, Mordekaiser is kind of the last piece here because his ability is a board-wide magic resistance shred, which, as I've said, is exactly what I need for my board to continue popping off. Misfortune 3-star probably does not look like it's going to happen in this game. I have not been able to find the Misfortunes because another player is playing MFs and is also trying to stack towards MF 3-star, the Anima Visage player. So that's the biggest reason why I have not been able to find the MFs. Someone else was also taking them out of the pool. But I do think my board has gotten a bit stronger. Actually, we just knocked the Anima squad player out of this team. Just knocked them out of the game. So now those MFs will go back into the pool. But it looks like we are getting closer to the end of the game. Somewhat remarkably, I actually found Galio 3-star here at level 9. I don't quite know how that happened. There is Mordekaiser. So anyway, we're going to duplicate the Jax, send that on over. And then I'll go ahead and sell this Misfortune. And there's Mordekaiser 2-star. So that pretty much makes my board. I was grabbing this set here because Grillo had, he was getting close to set 3-star. So I believe he had 6 sets. And so with this one, that took us up to 7. So we were like, oh, we're actually pretty close to set 3-star for his board as well. So yeah, that would be pretty nice. But this is pretty much my board here. They got the Nunu 2-star, Mordekaiser 2-star. Yeah, now Grillo has the Jax 3-star. So I'm up against like a weaker version of Grillo's board. And Nunu just tossing that ball around. And there's Mordekaiser going to get the big hit off. There we go. Now these teams should have very little magic resistance left, thanks to the Ionic Spark and the Static Shiv and the Mordekaiser ability. So Jax is going to last for a while, but we will take him down eventually. Look, they have double champion duplicators as well. Geez, so many champion duplicators. I don't think it's healthy for the game to have this many champion duplicators as options, but oh well. So we're going to get one more item carousel here. The other team's down to 1 HP. I would really, really like the Warmogs. Again, remember, Warmogs is great for mascots. I would just put that on the Galio, give him an extra. I think Warmogs is now 700 health, so I would very much like to put that on one of these units. But somebody takes it, so not really anything I need right now. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll just take this. I'll put it on Mordekaiser. Now, one little note on theory crafting. I actually don't think that mascots want to play into Animal Squad. I didn't really know what I was doing. And by the way, there's another 18 gold. I don't really know what I'm doing in this game. I think that the board actually wants to play into Aphelios and Samira. Like, I think that that's actually the correct way to build this if you're going to go 6 mascot. Alistar gives you Ox Force trait, and then Ox Force trait will combine together with Aphelios to give you that. And then you also have... you can also play Sivir in the early game for civilian trait, and she has the Sure Shot, which then Sure Shot also works with Aphelios. So you can play like Sivir plus Samira, and then you play like Sivir and Senna, and then like that transitions late game into Samira and Aphelios. And like I think that that's actually the correct way to build this board. But again, it's still super early in the set. We're still trying to figure that out. Anima Squad, probably not the correct way to go with this board. But hey, it worked for this game. We actually did get a decent amount of fame by the end of it. And Misfortune plus Nunu actually did have some synergy because Like they both had big AoE ultimates. Nunu pushing the ball, Misfortune hitting everybody with her big Make It Rain. So it worked out in this game. As I said, we'll get better. We'll refine the teams, get more polished at playing this over time. But this was a fun game. I had a lot of fun putting this team together. The Nunu shoving the Katamari Damacy ball is absolutely hilarious. And again, if you can get up to 6 mascots, it's actually very strong. It's just normally you need to either find Nunu or you need to find a mascot emblem. And the jump from 4 mascot to 6 mascot is just gigantic. So that is where you should be looking to go if you're going to play this team. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, have a good one. Take care, folks.